A fire accident turned a residential building into ashes and a volunteer stepped in to provide cleaning services. A selfless teacher putting all her love and devotions to teach students with academic difficulties in remote countryside. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. A residential building in Xinjiang District, New Taipei City, Taiwan, caught in a fire accident and the house became a ruin. Considered the house owner is old and his children were not around, the borough head asked慈济to help and 52 volunteers went to help cleaning. Going inside the fire accident spot, it's dark and one can hardly see anything.慈济volunteers carefully walk in with flashlights, and what awaits them is a room of ashes burned down by fire.
The fire victim is an elder, and the children are all in other cities, so they're not able to clean up and take care of the situation. Knowing that慈济has been contributing to the society all the time, when we encountered this trouble,慈济was the first that came to our mind, so we asked them if they can come to help.
Wearing the hat made especially for disaster relief work, which can provide lighting in the dark, 52 volunteers bring their own tools to start cleaning. On top of cleaning the destroyed items, volunteers also deliberately sort out the recyclable materials from some of the furniture. Lin Huishi is a documenting volunteer in慈济, and she has deeper feeling this time joining the cleaning service.
When we are cleaning in the house, we wondered why the affected resident had so many miscellaneous items, but I remembered the master once told us that we are also cleaning our mind when we clean the place. We usually work in the office, so it's more tiring for us to go in and clean, but I feel really glad to be able to serve them.
The borough head cooperates with慈济volunteers for many community activities to care for the economic minority residents in the district so that everyone can watch out for their neighbors whenever they need. Another fire incident in New Taipei City, Taiwan. A senior was injured and sent to Taipei慈济Hospital when he was using a candle. To comfort his worries about his damaged house, hospital staff went to his home on March 3rd to clean up for him.
21 people from Taipei慈济Hospital and volunteers go to Mr. Lin's home to clean up his house. The place is full of burnt smell and is in disarray. Men move the goods outdoors while the women clean up the furniture covered by the smoke and dust.
He has lived in this house for a long time, so he's accumulated some furniture, and some of it cannot be used again. With his son's permission, we move out things that can't be used.
Everyone works together, and half an hour later, they restore the house to its clean state. Mr. Lin's son cannot hide his excitement and expresses gratitude to慈济volunteers.
Today,慈济brothers, sisters, and the superintendent said they'd come at 9 o'clock to help, and in less than half an hour, they cleaned up everything. I can let go of a heavy rock from my heart.
After returning to the hospital, the superintendent goes to the ward to inform Mr. Lin the good news. Mr. Lin expresses his gratitude and also feels much relieved, so he can receive treatment without any worry.
In the Philippines,慈济recently went to Antipolo City of Rizal Province to give out rice coupons. Among the families that have received help from this distribution is a 14-year-old boy whose education was interrupted due to his poor living condition. Thankfully, with the rice coupons, his family can now save the money to pay for his tuition fees.
The clutter has been piled high up to the ceiling. This small place is where Justino Gloria and his children live. Because of health problems, he can no longer work as a driver, leading him to live in distress.
We have no extra money to buy food and groceries. We're even unable to pay children's tuition fees. This rice coupon is a great help to us.
In Antipolo, Rizal Province of the Philippines, about 1,000 impoverished families have been listed by the government as those who desperately need help. However, they cannot be fully taken care of due to the restriction of manpower and resources. Milagros Abuela served as the government's social welfare unit. Each year, she always invites underprivileged children to celebrate her birthday. Knowing that volunteers came to distribute rice coupons, she feels very moved.
After knowing that Tzu Chi can help 1,000 families, I feel very happy for them.
Amongst the impoverished families is Sonia Abrigwe, whose son is 14 years old. Because of their poor living conditions, her son's education has been interrupted, as now he is only in 5th grade. Despite this situation, he studies very hard, and the wall is full of his certificates.
We don't need to buy rice and we can save the money to pay electricity bill. Now my child can continue his education and we can buy daily necessities.
Volunteer Eduardo Del Valle's living condition is not as good as well, but he feels very happy that he can do this part to serve people in need. His love makes the dark corners of society full of warmth.
As March 8th International Women's Day is approaching, we will bring you a series of special reports of women with a loving heart. The first female we are paying homage to is Lin Suqing, a teacher at Xiangtian Elementary School in Zhanghua, Taiwan, who treats her students as her own children. Considering the lack of resources in the remote countryside, she opened the door of her house and has been giving the students free tutoring classes for 10 years.
老师像爸爸妈妈一样，很温柔啊，又对我们很好。
每一个学生都是宝，对我而言，不管学生多还是学生少，我觉得付出的心力应该都是一样的。买 day 你就自己找一个。哇，有人写 happy 哦。 Sunday 很 happy， 你的日记呢就可以给他一点点的。
By giving him a little more attention, he will enjoy the class you teach. Therefore, he will have more concentration.
Lin Suqing believes that the most important thing is to allow children to concentrate on their studies. Every day when the school bell rings, that's when the tutoring class in Lin Suqing's house begins.
开走喽，好来，快点。脚踏车还是走路？
脚踏车啊，然后我们就一起走啊，走到一半就被人家碰到，然后他好像说的跟他完全无关的样子。
Some of them are from a single parent's family and some are brought up by grandparents. It's also not very convenient to go to the town for cram schools. Every Thursday, I will bring a few students that need extra lessons to my house and give them after-school tutoring.
好，进来了，可以吗？你们先自己搬桌子，好，搬桌子跟他对这边。不，跟他一班，你跟他一班。哎，你们先吃一下，好。
In a courtyard-style house with simple desks, chairs, and lamps, she teaches students who have difficulty with their studies.
Read, E A I A U， 对，很好。哎 ，Get， 对。
The tutoring class is free, and she aims to help the student with bad grades gain back their confidence.
考试比较会有信心。
For 10 years, Lin Suqing has been giving her love to these children who are seeking a sense of belonging and catching them before they fall.
有时候我觉得，怎么有小孩子可以，怎么会？
Sometimes I feel that how could these children live a harder life than us? If we can really understand his background and give him more tolerance or teach him slowly, it's very likely he will be willing to change because of the love and efforts you gave him.
付出跟你对他的爱，然后会愿意做一些改变。
Nonetheless, academic study is not the only thing she is teaching them.
I only ask them to perform at an average level academically because the most important thing is the personality. If he has a good attitude, he will have greater accomplishments in the future.
No one understands Lin Suqing's dedication to these students more than her family.
When she was having morning sickness, she was very exhausted and uncomfortable. But seeing the students falling behind with schoolworks, she still brings them home and tutor them after school.
Lin Suqing has been an educator for 26 years, and she has been the shining beacon of hope that brought these students with learning difficulties light and strength to keep on reaching their goals in life. Jingzhe has started. It's one of the 24 solar term, which some say it's spring thunder or the start of germination for many plants. Actually, the first thunderstorm occurred March 5th as a number of frontal systems passed. Some believe that a thunderstorm at this time is a symbol of good harvest this year, though the Central Weather Bureau warns that cooler temperatures are in store through the weekend.
Lightning struck on March 4th, coinciding with Jingzhe, which is one of the 24 solar terms, indicating that spring rains are coming. The Central Weather Bureau said that on March 5th, noontime temperatures went as high as 28 to 31 degrees. But as the front passed over, sporadic rainfall took place across Taiwan.
From the eastern half to the north and east coast, there will be some intermittent rains and thunderstorms. And in the southern mountainous regions, there will be short intermittent rains. This will be followed by the northeasterly monsoon winds traveling south, which will gradually increase. Northern Taiwan will begin to cool, and over the next 2 days will be subject to northeasterly monsoon winds.
Affected by the northeasterly monsoon winds, northern Taiwan on Wednesday night saw temperatures drop to 15 degrees. Weather has been cool all day, while central and southern parts weren't affected by such winds, with high temperatures potentially rising to 29 degrees. But by Friday, Taiwan will meet another wave of cold air.
The current cold air front, together with strong continental cold air mass, will mean that from Friday till Sunday, the influence by our observation is that it will mainly be both dry and cold. During this period, northern end of the entire central part and inland areas will see lows from about 10 to 12 degrees.
It seems that winter clothes can't be put away, which together with daytime radiative cooling means a greater difference from morning to nighttime, as more people should pay attention to keeping warm at night.
It's been a month since Hualien earthquake took place. The hero who rescued a family from the Yumen building was Hualien bus company driver Wu Zhiqing. He was an inmate who had stayed in prison for more than a decade. He was inspired by the family he saved and was recently invited by the Hualien prison to share his experience.
After being released from prison, Wu Zhiqing originally wanted to live a simple life, but he experienced the 2018 Hualien earthquake. Back then, he lent a helping hand to save people's lives. He now returns to prison to share this precious experience.
When I saw you, I thought of my past. Being able to stand here today, I feel very grateful. It has been almost 5 years after I was released from prison. I always tell myself that as long as I have the ability to help and to save people, I will try my best to do it.
When the earthquake occurred, inmates in the Hualien prison also felt frightened. They were quite saddened to learn about the devastation of their hometown through the prison's messages and the sharing of volunteers.
If it is possible, we also hope we can go to the disaster area for help. We will do what we can to help.
Although the volunteers themselves are affected residents, they put aside their feelings of anxiety to save other people. This is something that I admire the most.
Praying piously for peace and no calamities is now the biggest wish of these inmates. They hope to send their love and blessings to the less fortunate people through volunteers.
To help restore the critically endangered Formosa landlocked salmon, the Sheba National Park has arranged a release of the fish at小叹息湾, which is at an elevation of 2,900 meters, to help this species survive. A group of hikers has been recruited, but there are many challenges the group must overcome due to the rapid change of the weather. Let's join their adventure.
Our destination today is upstream of the Hehuan stream, which is called 小叹息湾, and it takes about 3 hours to get there, which is the furthest destination point for us.
We depart from the trailhead and walk towards Ximen North Peak, which sits at an elevation of 3,200 meters, which includes crossing a 500-meter ravine. For this expedition team, carrying the fish and water is a major challenge.
好像在被一直乱动的人一样，然后你要跟着那个浮动，然后前进。咔啦，咔啦，
It is quite a trek getting to Ximen North Peak, but there's little time to rest as the group poses for a photo. The next challenge are the Hehuan Mountains as they continue marching northwards towards an elevation of 3,000 meters. There is no overhead cover, only Fargesia de Misa on the ground as they brave strong winds and the wild. We are now hiking in a westerly manner downhill from a peak of 3,191 meters to the ravine.
This section of the trail is okay as it is about 60 to 70 degree in slope, but the next section is very difficult as it approaches 90 degree for about 500 meters before we get to 小叹息湾.
Passing through these many peaks, we're almost near this natural ravine. All of this area was once Tai Power's reserved corridor, as most visitors are prohibited from coming here, and selfless is at the head of this trail.
To tell you the truth, I didn't know it was this hard just to release fish. Am I okay? I don't think I can walk anymore, but I still have to do this report and the interview.
The small ravine has a creek meandering gently through it with clear water and gravel underneath, as trees are on both sides, as humans have not impacted this environment.
And this 2,900 meters elevation, it is different from our previous releases at about 1,800 to 2,000 meters. This higher elevation means the water temperature is lower and the typhoon will not have a significant impact. Also, forest coverage is quite good, and the Formosan landlocked salmon won't have to worry about food.
Release of the Formosan landlocked salmon into this pristine waters and nature is like stepping back in time before the damage caused by humans, as these gurgling streams are quite pure.
20 years ago, we were warned about this endangered species, and now 20 years later, we have made vast improvements, including soil conservation and acquiring land, as these Formosan landlocked salmon have given us some value. And a dream as what we are all doing together now is quite good.
In the afternoon, this team leaves 小叹息湾as they hope to make it home before dark. Changing weather conditions and the equipment we need to carry has made the going tough. At sunset, the temperatures drop quickly, much faster than initially anticipated.
Now we're just 100 meters away from the place where we started this trip.
It's a little further at the Ximen Peak. We still need to go a bit, so I think it's about 40 minutes still.
The mountain scenery is really worth it. We have this beautiful view that many don't get to see because we helped the Formosan landlocked salmon return home.
Yes, we will come back next year. Do you want to do it again?
Because of fatigue and the fact that we are not in a hurry, we decide to take a rest and enjoy the atmosphere. We all say a little prayer that the wildlife in this area can continue to live forever.
We took this fish so far away. I hope that they can grow well and that I have chance to see them in the future. I hope we have less natural disasters and they won't be simply washed away.
As the sun goes down, we walk through the night after completing our mission of releasing these fish. We hope that 20 years of restoration would allow this fish to recover from its critical state and gain rebirth.
Tzu Chi volunteers from northern Taiwan went to the Jingsi abode for a training camp. Senior Tzu Chi volunteers passed down their experiences while all the participants learned to work as a team.
With high spirit and orderly steps, over 500 volunteers from northern Taiwan are in the Jingsi abode for a training camp. Half of them are experienced volunteers. They started the camp at 4:30 a.m.
The young volunteers can learn things from the experienced volunteers because what we have experienced before may shed a light to the problems they have now.
I feel this camp is necessary. We should hold one every 2 years or few years, so senior volunteers like us can review things, and those new volunteers can learn our experiences.
These senior volunteers came to the camp and be role models with their conducts.
The master said we can deposit 50 years to Tzuji's special bank, so it's made me young again, and I can still give, so I came to help as a leader of Harmony team.
After I retired, I started doing recycling and joined慈济. Up to this day, I'm still doing recycling.
The theme of the camp is passing down and accompanying. The staff arrive at the abode one day early to learn from the masters how to be frugal.
We use natural things to allow everyone feel they're closer to the nature. Then we can save a lot of water because we don't have to wash dishes. The masters from the abode taught us how.
After learning experiences from senior volunteers, everyone will be able to work as a team harmoniously.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca are hosting a gathering to welcome their Dharma families. To show their sincerity, the volunteers have planned all kinds of activities and everyone is participating diligently. Let's take a look.
At the Jinsi Hall, some people practice dancing on stage, while others are setting up tables. To welcome their Dharma families to attend a New Year celebration gathering, the volunteers have mindfully planned all the activities.
I hope people can feel love from these activities and continue to come back.
I hope people can come back often because teamwork is important.
We work together to create the world of Tzuji.
For volunteers without prior experience, need to learn to perform drum and lion dance in a month.
Since they are older in age, they face difficulties in following the moves and moving to the music. They're very diligent in their practices.
Now my body is quite stiff. I've never imagined that performing a lion dance could be so difficult. Now I've begun to practice juggling every day. I also need to become more flexible so we can welcome them with the performance.
Since we work as a team, no one can be left out. Therefore, I come to practice whenever they call me.
The volunteers are welcoming their Dharma families with sincerity and love.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Paraguay distribute stationaries and local people gather to pray for earthquakes in Taiwan and Mexico. We will leave you with these images and thank you for joining us.